Good morning, SEMO, and welcome to Hawks Nest. I'm your host, Maddox Murphy, and joining me are Dylan Nooner and Isaiah Collins. Today, we'll tell you what to expect out of both the baseball and softball teams this season. But before we get to that, we'll take a closer look at both the men's and women's basketball teams. All that and more coming up on this episode of Hawks Nest. All right, let's just dive right in. The men's basketball team is on a 4-game losing streak as we speak. Dylan, what are your thoughts here?
So right now, they're 7-16 overall, the 2-8 record in the OBC, which is tied for last in the conference. Their record is like this for a couple of reasons. One, just getting off to way too slow of starts. They're a minus 131 in point differential in the first half of games compared to just a minus 15 in the second half. So they're getting behind in the first half, and it's just, in these conference games, it's hard to play from behind against better competition. And the reason for these slow starts is the rebounding. They're minus 6 on the boards, and on the inside defensively, they're allowing opponents to shoot 45% from the field, and they're towards the bottom half of the league in blocks. And the other thing, it's hard to win if you can't score, and this team has issues doing that, right? They've actually attempted more field goals this year than their opponents. Problem is they're shooting just 40% from the field and 29% from three, which are both ranked towards the bottom of the conference. And then you look at the home and road splits. 0-11 on the road, 7-4 at home. Now, if they played every game at home, this team would be, in pretty good shape. But obviously, it's not the case. So if they're going to get back into the OVC race, they're going to have to clean up that road record.
Yeah, so obviously coming off of last season, we had a really strong team, and we lost a lot of those guys, which is going to cause a little bit of change starting this season. So it's not surprising. But I will say I'm seeing some leadership out of Rob Martin. I feel like he's really stepping into that point guard role. Obviously, we've got Quan Smart coming back, Josh Early. What do you think, Isaiah?
Yeah, obviously it was going to be a tough rebuilding season for the Red Hawks. But they have also, on top of losing a lot of their players from last year, they've also missed 2 of their returning players. Kobe Clark and Dylan Branson have missed a decent part of the season due to injuries. So it's just going to be a tough year. Hopefully they can learn from this coming into next year.
Yeah, to you guys' point, real young team, lost a lot of players. And as you mentioned, Phil Russell, leading scorer last year, transferred away. I still believe in Coach Corn. There's a reason he got that 4-year extension back in July. With a little more experience, maybe a strong recruiting class, maybe get some transfers in here. I don't see why this team can't be competing towards the top of the OVC next year. And on the women's side of things, unfortunately, it's kind of been a similar story this year. They also come in on a 4-game losing streak with a 6-15 overall record, and they're just 3-7 in the OBC. Much like the men's, their home and road splits. Although they do have 1 road win, they're 1-11 on the road, and they're 5-4 at home. It's kind of been the same struggles. Scoring has been an issue. 60 points per game, 10th in the OBC, and they're shooting just 37% from the field and 25% from three, which are both dead last in the OBC. Then the rebounding has been an issue. Offensive and defensively, they've been struggling to get it done, and that's not going to help you win any games. But there have been some positives. They take very good care of the ball. They're top in the league in terms of turnover to assist ratio, and defensively they're sound. Top of the league in steals, 9 per game. They hold teams to just 66 points and 41% shooting, both top 5 in the conference. But on to a brighter note, the Groundhog predicted an early spring this year. And you know what that means? It's time to hit the diamond.
That's right, and I'm getting really excited. I think that things are looking up for the Red Hawks this season. Obviously, last year we ended on kind of an upsetting note. We lost in the first round of the OVC tournament after winning the 2 years prior. We have 31 guys on the team, 11 of which are new. So lots of new guys that we're looking at this year. So we've got Brian Strange, JUCO transfer from Mineral Area College right here in Missouri. In fall ball, he was throwing 95 the first weekend out. So big arm, throws hard. He's got good genetics. His dad played in the big leagues, so he's not scared of big situations. And so I think he'll be a big player for us. We've also got another JUCO transfer, left-hand pitcher Alex Hayes. He's from Madison College in Wisconsin. He's a lefty pitcher with a 90 fastball, but also has a really good slider. He pitched in the Junior College World Series, so has a lot of good experience under his belt. We also have a true freshman this year in Brooks Kettering. Everybody is very excited about Brooks. He's from Springfield, right here in Missouri, and Coach Sawyer's actually described him as the most talented freshman the program has had since Trevor Azell, which is the hitting coach here on campus. Brooks is a left-hander. He can run. He hit 400 in the fall, and he is a second baseman.
Yeah, that's some high praise coming from Coach Sawyer's. I'm excited for one to see Brooks play this spring. On top of all the new guys, we're also returning 6 senior players, 2 of which, Ty Stouse, senior catcher, big-time player for them in 2022, right? But unfortunately, last year's season got cut short due to injuries. Also returning is Kyle Miller, who has been a dominant reliever for them for the past couple of years.
On top of that, they bring back second-team All-OVC outfielder Josh Cameron. Basically, their main source of power hitting last year. Led the team in RBIs, led the team in home runs, total bases. It's going to be huge to have him back in the lineup next year.
I don't know about you guys, but I am feeling really excited about watching this team play. I think it's going to be pretty electric offensively, a really talented and dynamic group to watch. The Redhawks kick off their home season on February 20th against Murray at 3 p.m.
Speaking of getting back on the diamond, it's also time for softball to return to the field. They return a lot of impact players from their OVC regular season championship last season, including All-OVC first team and co-conference player of the year, Aubrey Shores, junior infielder. She drove in 33 runs while hitting .347, hitting 7 home runs. They also bring back a couple of other first team all-conference players, senior outfielder Paige Halliwell, as well as junior pitcher Delaney Kell. Coming off last year, they were the number 1 seed in the tournament, lost to number 5 SIUE in the semis. They won the regular season title 2 of the last 3 seasons. However, they haven't won a conference tournament since 2021. They're looking to get back to that this year.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, our Athlete Spotlight of the Week. Who do we have, Isaiah?
Well, this week we have a former SEMO athlete. That's wide receiver Ryan Flournoy. Just left the program. Now he's pursuing the NFL. Flournoy this past weekend competed at the Reese's Senior Bowl, only the second Red Hawk to do that. He received 2 touches in the game, including a catch on the final drive of the 4th quarter. Next up is the NFL Combine. He'll have a chance to showcase his talents for the entire NFL. Usually the issue with FCS players is wondering whether or not their athleticism will translate to the next level. With Flournoy, based off the numbers he's put up in the past, that shouldn't be a problem. He's run a 4.4 40-yard dash, jumped 41-inch vertical, and also bench pressed 350 pounds. This is a guy who's put up numbers that, just based off of testing numbers alone, should put him towards the top of the class. Obviously, there's other factors that determine, but athletically, he has it all.
Yeah, Flournoy turned a lot of heads at the Senior Bowl. I thought everybody seemed like they were really impressed with him. There were lots of articles talking about his work ethic, his reliable hands, his quickness. I'm excited to see how things go for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big body receiver, right? 6'1", 200 pounds. Can play on the slot as well as the outside. Really good with the ball in his hands. I'm excited to see what he can do at the next level. As you can tell, we got lots to do in Cape Girardeau this spring. Winter sports starting to slow down. Spring sports starting to heat up. Here's a look at what's coming up this week. You're not going to miss anything.
Make sure to follow us on socials at Southeast Arrow and On Target Sports. I'm Maddox.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Isaiah.
And this is Hawk's Nest. Have a great week.